tips for teaching phonics. That's the title for today, right? Okay, so I have some questions for you. Okay. Oh, my name is Soo Kim. I know some of you have been to my webinar before, and some of you, it's probably for the first time, right? Okay, so hi, I'm Sue. Nice to meet you. And I've been with eFuture for about 10 years, or more than 10 years actually. And before eFuture, I was a teacher, and I worked as a teacher trainer as well for about 10 years. Okay. Yes, we will upload the video on YouTube, so you can watch the video again. My name in Spanish, I'm not really sure. Sue. Okay. Yeah, so we'll be uploading this video on our YouTube channel, so you can watch the video later if you want. You can watch it again. Okay. And if you want the PPTs, then we can send our PPTs to our partners. Okay. Okay, so I'll ask you some questions. Okay. I have 3 questions, and let me get my questions. Okay, so you can just click on the answers. I have 3 questions. Okay, can you all see the poll questions? Yes? So number 1, which eFuture Phonics books do you use or have you used? Okay, so you can just click on the answers. I have Smart Phonics, EFL Phonics, Speed Phonics, School Phonics, Little Phonics, and I also have Phonics Fun Readers, Smart Phonics Readers. And if you have never used eFuture books before, then you can just click the last one, never used eFuture Phonics. Okay, so answer the questions. Okay, and number 2, do you like teaching phonics? Yes or no? Oh, I see a lot of yes, so that's good. Number 3, is it easy or difficult to teach phonics? Easy or difficult? Easy, difficult, average? Oh, okay, I should put that option there. Sorry, maybe next time I can put average. Not easy, not difficult. It's okay, right? If you cannot see the poll questions, then you can just put your answers on the chat window. Okay, have you finished all the questions? Yes? Okay, then let's get the result, and I can share the result with you. Okay, let's look at the result. 16% of you have used or are using Smart Phonics. Okay, so that's good. And 15% EFL Phonics. Okay, and 65% of you have never used eFuture Phonics. Okay, and do you like teaching phonics? Yes, for 88% said yes. Okay, so that's good. So most of you like teaching phonics, and that's good to know. Is it easy or difficult to teach phonics? 74% said difficult. Okay, so maybe after this session, maybe you can get some ideas, and you can use those ideas for your class so that you can enjoy teaching phonics class. You know, I hope it becomes easier for you, right? Teaching phonics. Okay, interesting result. Now let's go back to my slide. So what is phonics? I'm not going into the details of phonics today or how to teach phonics, because my focus will be giving you the tips. Okay, so let's briefly talk about what is phonics. Number 1, recognizing the relationship between letters and sounds. Okay, so if you look here, as in apple, right? The letter and the sound and the word apple, right? B is B as in book. Okay, so that's the relationship between letters and sounds, right? Number 2, blending the sounds to make meaningful words. Okay, so you are blending the sounds. So if you look here, b, at, you can blend together, so it becomes bat. Okay, so phonics is the foundation for reading and writing, and it's a very important skill, right? Especially for EFL learners. Phonics helps students to read and write without depending on memorization or guessing, right? You don't have to memorize the spelling of, each and every word. You can use your phonics skills to read or to write. Okay. Number 2, develop strategies for sounding out unfamiliar words. Okay, so if you have the phonics skills, then you can use that skill when you meet an unknown words or unfamiliar words. Okay, and number 3, become confident, independent readers. Okay, so if you look at this word, right, there's this big word, right, hippopotamus. When students see this word, how they feel? Oh, wow, it's a big word. I cannot read, right? But with phonics skills, they can try using their phonics skill. They can combine the words, or they can cut down the sounds. Okay, they'll try to read. Maybe they'll say something like this: hippopotamus. Okay, so that's using the phonics skill. Okay, so having the phonics skill is a very powerful tool because you will try to read the words that you don't know. Okay, so it's like giving a tool to your students. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So we talked about phonics, right? We all know what phonics is, and you are all teaching phonics. So here are my tips for teaching phonics. I'll talk about 5 things today. Number 1, choose EFL phonics program. Okay, we are all teaching in EFL environment. So choose the right program for your students. That's very important. Number 2, use songs and chant. Number 3, practice nonsense words. Number 4, read phonics stories. And number 5, have fun. This is probably the most important thing, right? So you probably know all these things, right? Yes? Okay, so let's talk more about these 5 tips. So here, tip number 1, choose EFL phonics program, right? So let's talk about EFL and ESL. So EFL is English as a foreign language. ESL is English as a second language. Okay, and we are all teaching in EFL environment. We have limited time, limited exposure to English, and we have limited opportunities to speak English. And our students, when they first start to learn English, they only have basic vocabulary, right? That's our situation, because we only speak English in English classroom, right? During the class. And that's probably once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, right? But if you compare that with ESL students, they have more time, more exposure, more opportunities, and their vocabulary is much bigger, right? So for example, a Korean student moving to Australia, right? They're exposed to English 24 hours a day. That's the ESL environment. And that's very different from EFL environment. Okay, so there are phonics programs available for ESL students and also for native speakers. Okay, so if you look at this picture, EFL students, they just start to learn English, right? They are at the starting line. But ESL students and native speakers, they're already far away, right? So if you use the phonics program developed for these students, ESL students or native speakers, right? It will have too many target sounds, and it will have too many target words. And sometimes they mix the targets. So it's too difficult for EFL students. Okay, so for EFL phonics program, you should focus on essential sounds, and you should focus on more frequently used words. There are so many English words, right? You cannot teach them all these words because we only have limited time. So we want to focus on the more frequently used words and the essential sounds. And it should follow the logical sequence and systematic progress. Otherwise, it will be too difficult for EFL learners. So we should make it easy, simple, systematic. Then it'll be more efficient for EFL students. Okay? If it's too difficult, then they'll lose interest, right? And they don't want to do it anymore. And it'll be very difficult for you to teach as well, right? So if you find teaching phonics difficult, then think about the material that you're using now, right? What sort of books are you using now? What program are you using now? Is it for EFL students or is it for ESL or native speakers? Okay, so think about that first. That's very important. Okay. So this is the probably best phonics system for EFL students. Okay, it's very logical. If you look at the sequence, right? Number one, the level 1, single letters. And level 2, short vowels. Level 3, long vowels. Level 4, 2-letter consonants. Level 5, 2-letter vowels, right? So you can follow this logical sequence. And it'll be easy for our students to follow. And we focus on the targets that are basic, regular, more useful, and more frequent. Okay, and this is the system that we use for Smart Phonics and EFL Phonics, right? Some of you have used Smart Phonics or EFL Phonics, right? And that's the basic system that we follow. And we've tested this system, we've developed the system, and it's proven, right? And it's easy and more efficient for EFL learners. Okay, so if you are using, look at the program that you're using now and see if there is a logical sequence. Okay, are they mixing the targets? Are they mixing all these levels? Okay, or is it progressing gradually, systematically? Okay, something for you to think about if you find teaching phonics difficult. Okay, so this is, we have all these different phonics series. Okay, Smart Phonics, EFL Phonics, Speed Phonics, School Phonics, and Little Phonics. So we have 5 different phonics series. Okay, why so many? That's probably the most frequently asked question. Okay, we want to give more options to the teachers, right? And if you look at the targets, all these books have the same targets. Okay, so book 1 to book 5 for Smart Phonics and EFL Phonics, the targets are exactly the same. And this is the sequence, the phonics targets that I talked about earlier, right? In the previous slide, this one, right? From 1 to 5. So that's from book 1 to book 5. And for Speed Phonics and School Phonics, we combined some of the targets. So that Speed Phonics has 3 books, School Phonics has 4 books in the series. Okay? And we have different components. Okay, Little Phonics, there are 4 books, but if you look at the level only goes up to book 2 in Smart Phonics and EFL Phonics, right? It goes only up to short vowels because Little Phonics is for kindergarten level, right? For very, very young children. Okay, so we divide the books into, we divide book 1 into 2 books, book 1 and book 2. Okay, book 2 is divided into 2 books, book 3 and book 4. So the level finishes here. If they want to continue, then they can go to book 3 of Smart Phonics or EFL Phonics, or book 2 of Speed Phonics, or book 3 of School Phonics. So it's very systematic. Okay, so how are the components different? Smart Phonics, we have student book and workbook separate. But for EFL Phonics, we have workbook included in student book. Okay, so inside student book, there is a workbook. So you just have to buy one book. Okay, but if you want to do more practice with workbook, then it's good to use Smart Phonics because we have workbook and student book separately. And for school phonics, we have phonics readers included in student book. Okay, so this is school phonics, and if you look inside, you can find the readers. Okay, so we have different components for different series, right? So you can choose the one that you like, the one that fits your teaching environment. Okay. Now we have all these videos on YouTube, and we'll be uploading this webinar video on YouTube as well. Okay, so if you look at this video, phonics, why and how, right? That was one of my webinars that I did last year, and I talked about how to teach phonics and why do we teach phonics. Okay, so today the focus is a little bit different. Today I'm just giving you the tips. Okay, so if you want to find out more about how to teach phonics, you can watch this video. Okay, and we also have a video on smart phonics. Okay, smart phonics for smart teaching. And we have teaching phonics for online classes. Okay, I know that some of you are teaching online now, right? So if you want to, find out how to teach phonics online, then you can watch this video. And we also have model lesson videos on our YouTube. Okay, so we have school phonics model lesson video and we have speed phonics model lesson video, and we'll be uploading more videos. Okay, we will upload videos for smart phonics and EFL phonics and speed. So we'll be uploading all these model lesson videos. Okay. So book 1, we teach single letter sounds. Right? I just want to emphasize that when you teach phonics, you should focus on 3 things, right? So number 1 is sounds. You teach the sound, right? Number 2, you also teach letters, right? Both uppercase and lowercase. And number 3, new words. You are also teaching new words. So those 3 things should go together in your phonics class. Okay? So if you look at this, it's A, right? You have the uppercase and the lowercase, right? And you have the sound A and the new word apple. Okay, so A, apple. Those 3 should go together. Okay, and I'm not going into the details of all these phonics targets, but just want to show you that how systematic it is, right? So if you look here, we learn all the single letter sounds in book 1. So we know all these sounds, and we do, we combine the sounds here, right? We know A, we know to, so we just combine to make at. Okay, and all these combination is here, right? It's the same as this, right? Can you see that they are the same? Yes, and we just add consonant. So k, at, cat. And book 3, we know all the single letter sounds, so we can read a, k, right? But here, by adding e at the end, we change the sound, right? It's not ek, but it's ache, and it's ike. And all this combination is here, right? This is same as this. And we just add one consonant, k, ache, cake. Okay, so that's book 3. And book 4, we do 2-letter consonants. So we do, we know all the single letter sound, so we do k, r, kr. We can combine these 2. Okay, and this combination is here, right? It's same as this. Okay, this stays the same, and we add one more vowel and one more consonant. So kr, ab becomes crab. Okay, and book 5, we do 2-letter vowels. So E, same sounds, right? But by adding consonant, we can distinguish. B, E, B, T, E, T. Okay, so I just want to show you how systematic it is. And I hope you can see that this is the best sequence that you can do phonics. Okay, shall we move on to tip number 2? Okay, what was tip number 1? Choose the materials very carefully, right? Choose the books written for EFL environment. Okay? Yes? Okay, now let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is use chant and songs. Okay? If we do this offline, right? I used to do a lot of offline trainings, right? Go to Peru, go to China, Japan, or Vietnam, and do offline trainings, right? And it's actually more fun doing it that way. Then we can all sing together and we can all dance together, and it's more fun. But we just have to do it this way, right? But I hope you are still enjoying this session, and I hope you can chant together with me today, and maybe you can dance together with me. Okay? So why chant? Why songs? Let's look at this. A fun chant helps students practice making the sound-letter connection. It's fun to do and memorable, right? We have to do a lot of practice, right, to remember the sound and the letters and the relationship, right? And we have to do a lot of repetition, right? But if you just do the same thing again and again, it can get, it can be very boring. So that's why we do chant, right? It's more fun. You can make fun with the sounds. Okay, so we have a lot of chant in our book. Okay, so maybe we can do some of this chant together today. Okay, so let me get the animation. We have animations for all our phonics series, right? So for chant and the stories. Okay, so let me get the ebook. Okay. So if you are using EFL Phonics, this is from EFL Phonics Book 1. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Let's listen to the chant first. Okay, then we'll do it together. Let's listen first.
Hi, everybody. It's time to review single letter sounds. Are you ready? Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Eat an apple.
Eat an apple.
Apple. Open your book.
Open your book.
Book. Sleep like a chant. Chant. Jump like a dog. Dog.
Okay, so this is the basic chant that you can do with your students, right? And let's try this. Okay, are you ready to do some chant with me? Yes? Okay, so here. Let's look at this. Apple. Book. Cat. Right? Are you all doing it with me? Yes? Now let's do some, we can do some actions, right? Let's clap, right? And do the chant together with the clap, okay? Apple. Book. Okay, did you clap? Okay, you can change the movement, right? You don't have to clap all the time, right? You can do this apple, okay, or you can shake your hands, right? apple, Okay, so if you feel like dancing, you can stand up and dance. Okay, and you can create your own chant. Okay, I always ask teachers to create their own chant. You don't have to follow this. You can change this. Like, for example, you don't have to do apple, You can do apple. Okay, you can do it that way. Okay, or you can do I don't know. You can be creative, right? Apple, apple, apple. Right? You can do it that way. So you can ask your students to create their own chant. This is really fun, right? They are very creative. They come up with all this, funny chant and the actions as well. Okay. Yes, dancing is always the answer. Yes. Okay. So create your own chant. You can do the chant in the book. Okay. You can watch the animation, do it together. Okay. Or, you can ask your students to create their own chant. It's always fun, having fun with the sound. That's what phonics is all about, right? And you can also do a game. Okay, so if you have boys and girls in your class, okay, you can ask them to stand up or clap or raise their hands. Okay, so let's try this. So all the boys, all the boys, you clap when you hear When you hear the sound, then you clap. Okay, and the girls, you clap when you hear the word apple, book, cat. Okay, now let's try. I'll do the chant. Okay, then you can clap. So listen very carefully. Okay, so boys, you clap when there is sound. Girls, you clap when you hear the word. Okay, ready? Okay, now, boys, ready? Apple. Did you do that? Yes? Or you can stand up. Okay, come on, everyone, you can stand up. This is your chance to stretch, right? Stand up and stretch. So boys, stand up when you hear the sound. Okay, and girls, you stand up when you hear the word. Okay, so here we go. Book. Book. Okay, did you do it? Okay, that's good. So I think you can do this activity online. All right, we are doing it now, so you can probably try this with your students. Okay, very good. Okay, I hope you're having fun. I am. So that was tip number 2. Okay, to chant and song and move your body and have fun. Okay, now let's move on to tip number 3. Yeah, use the idea, right? Yeah, you can probably do it today with your students, right? If you're teaching phonics. And you can change the targets, right? Yeah, the same chant, right? You can use all these different chants that we provide in the book, or, if you're using a different program, then I'm sure there will be some chant that you can use for this activity, right? Okay, let's move on to tip number 3. Read nonsense words. Okay, nonsense words. Do you know what nonsense words are and why they are important? Okay, so let's find out. Nonsense words. Nonsense words are not real words. They are not real. Okay, but they follow regular phonics rules, but have no meaning. Okay, so nonsense words follow regular phonics rules. Okay, and nonsense words are used to check if students are using phonics rules when they see unknown words. So once the rules and patterns are established, students can use them to make predictions about new words. Okay, so if students can read cat, then they should be able to read get because it's the same rule, same pattern, right? It's their phonics skill, right? They can do k at cat. Okay, so you'll be practicing k at cat, h at hat, m at mat, b at bat. Okay? So if you can do this, then you should be able to do g at get, s at set, f at fat, t at tat, r at rat, v at vat, p at pat, because they already have the skill to read k at cat. They should use that skill to read g at get. Okay, so all these are nonsense words. Okay. Well, some words are real words like sat, fat, rat, pet. These are real words. But for students, because they haven't learned these words, it's new to them. It's unknown to them, right? So they are all nonsense words to our students, right? But they can still read because they know the rules. They know they have the skill. Okay, so focus on the phonics skills, but not on the spelling of the words. Okay, so sometimes, students see cat, hat, mat so often, they just memorize the words. Okay, so they are not using their phonics skill when they read cat, hat, mat. They just memorize the words. They just memorize the spelling, right? So you can test that by asking your students to read nonsense words. Okay. So some of you have questions, right? You can leave your questions in Q&A or on chat window. Then we'll try to answer the questions at the end of the session. Okay? Or my colleagues can answer the questions for you, right? So if you have any questions, just put them on Q&A or on the chat window. Okay? Okay, so nonsense words. Okay, now you know what nonsense words are, right? Okay. So we have phonics builders, right? Have you seen our phonics builders? So these are phonics builders, and you can use these to practice combining the sounds and also to practice reading nonsense words. Okay, so there are 3 phonics builders. So phonics builder 1 is to practice short vowels and consonants. And phonics builder 2 is to practice double letter consonants. Okay, and phonics builder 3 is for double letter vowels. Okay, and you can actually make your own phonics builder, right? If you have a notebook like this, you can just cut and you can make your own. Or if you have an old calendar, I've seen teachers using an old calendar, right? They can cut and paste the letters, right? And then make their own phonics builders. Or you can just buy something like this. Okay, so we have a YouTube video on phonics builders, right? If you watch the video, then you can get some ideas on how to use these phonics builders for your class, right? I've been busy making all these videos, right? Can you see that? We've made lots of videos, right, to help you guys. So anyway, let's do some. Let me stop this. Okay, so let's look at this. So what sound? Okay, so you can add one more. What sound? Right? So ab. And then you can add one more. Here. What sound? B, ab, bab. Okay, so you can read it together like that. You can change the vowels, right, if you want. Right? What sound? E. Okay. And then you can change this, or you can change this. Okay. This will be interesting, right? Can you read this? E, f, faff. Okay, so it's a good practice for combining the sounds and also to practice reading nonsense words. Good. F. Gaff. Okay, so you can also play games, right, using this, right? So you can use dice and other things to make it more interesting, and you can find that out from the video that I made. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. Okay, here we go. So that's Phonics Builders. So what was tip number 3? Practice reading nonsense words. Okay, so are you all following me okay? Okay, that's good. Now let's move on to tip number 4. Okay, read phonics stories. This is very, very important, reading phonics stories. Okay, because by reading stories, you can practice phonics skills and sight words. Okay, I'll come back to sight words in a minute. Okay, so you can practice phonics skills while reading the stories. So reading a story will be a good review. Okay, and number 2, practice reading sentences. Okay, so for phonics, you spend a lot of time dealing with the sound and the word, right? So it's good to provide an opportunity for your students to read the whole sentence. Okay, not only the word or the sound, but the whole sentence. So practice reading sentences. Number 3, focus on meaning. Okay, stories provide context. So if you look at this story here, right, this story is from Speed Phonics. Okay, you can look at the picture, right, because the pictures will provide a context clue. Okay, so look at the picture, everyone. What can you see? What do you see in the picture? There's a girl, right? And what does she have? She has a cap, right? She has a baseball cap. And there's a big bag. Okay, what color is the bag? It's brown, right? So she has a cap and she has a bag. Now let's look at this picture here, right? What does she have now? She has a bat. Maybe she likes playing baseball, right? So you can talk about the picture, okay? And you can focus on the meaning, right? So you can think about the meaning and you can review the words. Okay, so you can do so many things with the story. Okay, and let's read the story together. What's in the bag? Right, this is from level 1. So we use pictures for phonics words. Okay, even if we write B-A-G, bag there, students won't be able to read it because they are not at that stage. They are only doing single letter sounds. Okay, that's why we use pictures for the phonics words. Okay, but we use all these other words, right? What's in the, because these are sight words, right? You should get familiar with the sight words by looking at the words. Okay, that's why we have some words there and pictures there. Okay, so pictures are for phonics words. So let's read the story. What's in the bag? A cap is in the bag. What's in the bag? A bat is in the bag. Okay, so we looked at the picture. Now we read the sentence and we can understand the sentence, right? We understand the story. Okay, that's why stories are important when you teach phonics. Okay, so number 4, improve reading fluency. Okay, the reason we teach phonics is to help students develop their foundation for reading, right, and writing. And reading the stories will improve their reading fluency. And number 5, discover joy of reading. This is very, very important, right? At this stage, this is level 1. This is for very, very beginner, right? They start to learn ABC and abuku, apple, bat, bag. And they start to read the story and they can actually enjoy the story. right? If you look at the story, let's keep reading the story. Let's go here. What's in the bag? An apple is in the bag. Okay, so we have cat, bat, and apple. These are all the phonics words that we learned, right? And what happened at the end? Oh, look at the apple. The ant is in the apple, right? So there's something funny, or something happens at the end of the story, something amusing. So students can enjoy the story, right? So with these few words, they can read the story and they can enjoy the story, right? This is very, very good thing for young children, right? So when we write phonics stories, we always include the climax, right? Something funny or something amusing at the end of the story, so that students can all have fun with the story. Okay, so now you understand why reading stories is important, right? When you teach phonics. Okay, so please remember that. And this is another story. This is from School Phonics. Okay, and this is level 4, I think. So if you look here, now we don't have any words there, right? We don't have any pictures. We only have the words because this is level 4. Okay, and we are doing the double letter vowels here. Daisy is a seal. She likes to play in the snowy sea. Okay, look at the picture. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So what's the name of this seal? Daisy. Okay, that's her name. And what does she like? She likes to play in the snowy sea. So what's the weather like? It's snowing, right? Everything is covered with snow. What's the title of the story? A Blue Coat. Okay, so here, can you see the blue coat? Yeah, here's the blue coat. Right. But look at mom. Does she look happy? No, she doesn't look happy, right? She looks angry or disappointed. I wonder why, right? So let's find out. So you can do so many things with the story, right? You can talk about the picture, you can predict the story, right? You can make a guess. Okay, so let's watch the animation for this story, right? Okay, so this is School Phonics Book 4. Okay, so let's go to, this is our online platform. You can look at the ebooks here. And we have animations in the ebook. So School Phonics. This is School Phonics. Let's look at the story. So readers, remember, readers are included in School Phonics, right? So let's click readers. So here we have readers. Okay. Now let's watch the animation. Now I'll have to share this again. Okay, can you watch the animation?
A blue coat.
Daisy is a seal. She likes to play in the snowy sea.
It's cold today. Take this coat. Mom, I don't like that blue coat. Daisy, you need a coat.
Daisy takes the blue coat and jumps into the sea. Daisy meets a starfish.
Yellow coat.
Daisy meets three fish.
Huh? I like your green coats.
Uh-oh. Daisy sees a gray shark. She puts on her blue coat.
Huh?
Yes, the shark doesn't see Daisy.
Blue coat.
Okay. Did you enjoy the story? Yes, it's very nice, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so that was the story from School Phonics. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Okay, here we are. Yeah, so remember, stories are very good for phonics practice, right? So here we also provide extra activities, right, for stories. So we provide a play script so that you can do a role play. And we provide character pictures so that you can make puppets. So you can do the role play with the puppets. And we also have story checkup and phonics checkup and all these extra resources that you can use, right, after reading the story. Yes, it's a beautiful story, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now let's talk about sight words, right? So when we provide phonics stories, we also provide sight words. Okay, so for this story, these are the sight words: a, has, sees, the. Okay, the red words are all phonics words. Those are the target keywords, right? And sight words are these: a, has, sees, the. So sight means something that you see, right? So you will see these words in all the stories, most of the stories, and you'll see them everywhere because these are the basic words that you need, right, when you make English sentence. A, has, sees, the. Okay, especially the. Here is the quiz, right? What's the most frequently used English word? Do you know? What's the most frequently used English word? Anyone? The answer is the. Okay, the is the most frequently used English word. So you will see the everywhere, right? When you read a book, when you read a newspaper, when you watch TV, you'll see the everywhere, right? So we have the is one of the sight words, right? You see them everywhere. Okay, so let's look at this. The sight words are common, frequently used words, and foundational words that a child should learn to recognize and to build vocabulary, right? Combining sight words with phonics instruction increases speed and fluency in reading, okay? But we don't teach sight words separately. Sight words are always in the story, right? When students read the story, they'll see these words and then they'll be familiar with the words, right? We don't take out the sight words and then we'll ask our students to remember these sight words, right? We don't do that. It's best to learn the sight words naturally in the story. Okay, so please remember that. Sometimes you can find a list like this, right? If you do some web search, you can find a list of the sight words, right? But, try not to teach these words separately, right? Always have your students exposed to these sight words in the story. Okay? And we also have phonics readers. Okay, we have phonics fun readers that go together with EFL phonics or speed phonics. okay, because we have the matching levels. So there are 5 levels, like EFL Phonics, 5 levels, right? And Phonics Fund Readers also 5 levels. Speed Phonics 3 levels, but we cover all these targets, so you can still use Phonics Fund Readers together with Speed Phonics. Okay. And we have Smart Phonics Readers that go together with Smart Phonics. Okay, so Smart Phonics 5 levels, right, from book 1 to book 5. Smart Phonics Readers from book 1 to book 5. Okay, so these readers follow Smart Phonics curriculum. And next week, same time, Gary will do a webinar on Smart Phonics Readers and how to use Smart Phonics Readers in your class. Okay, so if you're interested in Smart Phonics Readers and Smart Phonics series, you can join the webinar next week. Okay, so with Smart Phonics Readers, we provide a mobile app, and you can watch the animations and do some activities on the mobile app. Okay, so that was tip number 4. And the last one is tip number 5, have fun. Okay, this is probably the most important tip that I can give you, right? And do a lot of games. Okay, as I said before, for phonics, to review phonics, you have to do a lot of repetition. But without doing repetition in a boring way, play games and do chant, right? Watch the animations, read the story, right? You can do the review more interesting ways. Okay, so we made all these videos for you. So these are all the flashcard activities that you can do, right, for phonics. So watch the videos and learn some activities, and you can use them, right, with your students. Okay, so let's just play one game with you. Okay, so here, this is one of my favorite games. It's a guessing game, and you can do this online. That's why I'm showing you this, right? You can just take a picture of the flashcards and put it on your slide and share with your students. Okay, if you are teaching offline, right, in the classroom, then you can spread the cards on the table, and students can all look at the cards on the table, right? You can put the cards like this. So there are how many cards? 9 cards, right? Can you see the pictures, right? We have a hat, a duck, a fish, a hippo, a cat, a bat, a dog, a gorilla, and an alligator. Okay, now you have to remember all these 9 pictures. Okay, you have to remember 9 words. Okay, I'll take one out. Okay, and then you'll have to guess which card is missing. Okay, now I'll give you 3 seconds to remember all these 9 words. Okay, you have to memorize, concentrate. 1, 2, 3. Okay, did you memorize all the words? Okay, now what's missing? What's missing? Yeah, very good. A gorilla is missing. Okay, very good. Okay, gorilla is missing. So you can do the words. You can practice the words by using the picture cards. Okay. You can use the alphabet cards as well. Okay, to practice the sound and the letters. Okay, now let's do it this way. So we have D. Let's do the sound, right? D, G, K, H, E, D, F, B, E. Right? We have 9 sounds, 9 letters there, right? Okay, now memorize. I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's missing? This one is more difficult, right? Yes, very good. H is missing, right? Okay, very good. So it's a simple game, but it's fun, right? You can have fun with your students. If you want to make it more difficult, you can add more cards, right? If you want to make it less difficult, right? If your students are very young and if they can only manage 4 cards or 5 cards, you can reduce the number of cards, right? And here's another game you can do, right? So please point. Okay, I'll say a word, you listen and point, or you can touch the screen. Or if you are doing this offline in your class, you can just spread the card on the table so student can touch the card. Or they can use a fly swatter to touch the card, okay, to make it more fun. Okay, so listen. E, C. Can you point? E, C. Which one? C is the difficult one, right? Because you can make C with this and C with this. Yes, right. Sorry, I made a difficult one. But in our phonics book, C is the target word, right? So students will touch this one, C, with EA. Okay? Let's try one more. Okay. O, toast. O, toast. Which one? O, toast. Yes, this one. Okay, O, toast. Okay, so this one is very simple, right? You listen and point, or listen and touch. Okay, we provide board games and other games in our phonics books, so it's really fun to use these board games to review the sounds and the words. Okay, and we also have digital resources. We have mobile app for all our phonics series. Okay, so you can play games, you can watch the animations, right? And we have ebooks. Okay, so you can use that for your online teaching. You can use the ebook to teach the class. Students will learn the lesson by sharing the ebook with you, and they can do the work in their physical book at home. Okay. We have teacher's manual for all our series. Okay. We provide activity ideas and teaching tips in our teacher's manual. And we also provide extra games and activities ideas for you to use. Okay, and we have a lot of downloadable resources too. We have activity sheets and tests and all that. Okay, so I covered all 5 tips. Okay, let's go through them again. Number 1, choose EFL Phonics program. Number 2, use songs and chants. Number 3, practice nonsense words. Number 4, read phonics stories. And number 5, have fun, right? Have lots of fun. So another webinar coming up next week. Okay, same time. Gary will introduce Smart Phonics Readers and Smart Phonics series. And we have expert series coming up, right? Remember last year we had some expert series, and we'll have some more this year. Okay, so and if you want to find out more about the webinars, then please follow us on our social media. Then you can get the information about the webinars. And check out our YouTube site, YouTube channel, and Facebook, Instagram, and Weibo. Okay, and to get the certificate, please contact our partners. Okay, if your country is not listed here, you can send us an email. Okay, if you want to see eFuture catalog or any samples, then you can contact our partners as well. So here are the email address. Okay. And that's all from me today. Thank you very much. Did you enjoy the session? Yes? Yeah, and have lots of fun with your students. And I hope teaching phonics is fun and easy for you. And keep in touch with us. Okay? And if you have any questions, I'll stay for a couple more minutes so you can ask me questions. Okay? So thank you for joining us. And have fun. Okay, bye everyone. So let me check Q&A if you have any questions. Oh, my colleagues answered the questions already. Okay, thank you, Yeri and Gary. Okay, oh, thank you. Oh, you had a wonderful time. Okay, that's great. Okay, for webinar feedback, my colleague Gary is sending you the link on the chat window. Okay, we welcome your feedback. So yeah, any feedback, comments, okay, please click on the link. Okay, thank you. To get the certificate, please contact our partners. Remember this email address, or contact us. Okay, if your country is not listed here. So for certificate, here are the email address. Check the country and send email to our partners. 정말 고맙습니다. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 감사합니다. Thank you. 감사합니다. Yes, you can get the PPTs from our partners. And you can watch this webinar again on the YouTube. The certificate is to show you, our appreciation for attending our webinar. Okay, so by attending the webinar, staying for the session, then, we'll give you the certificate. Yeah, for today, yes. Muchas gracias. Thank you. It was interesting. Thank you very much. 네, 고맙습니다. Some of you can actually type in Korean. That's very good. Arigato. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you. Please, use these tips for your class. Merci. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Okay, it's good that you all enjoyed my session and you like my tips. So that's good. Yeah, see you again. Yes, I'll be doing more webinars. So yeah, you'll see me again. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, if you don't have any questions, then I'll finish the session. Okay, thank you. Yeah, please follow my tips. Yes, thank you. The time is not suitable for you. Then please send us an email and let us know. 4 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 a.m. Thank you so much for joining us from Egypt. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in Egypt. Yeah, because we are doing this webinar for many different countries, it's difficult to choose the time. And we found that this is the perfect time for most of the countries, right? So it's not easy to change the time. So if it's too early or too late for you, maybe you can watch the videos instead. Right? Getting up like 4 o'clock in the morning to watch this session, thank you so much. It's not easy, right? Sudan, someone is joining from Sudan. It's very early in Sudan. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you so much for participating in the webinar. Okay, thank you. 10 o'clock in Peru, but it's okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Good night to those people in Latin America. It's late at night, right? Yes. Good night and good morning to some of you and good night to some of you. And have a nice day to some of you and sweet dreams to some of you. Okay. Thank you. I'll go and eat my lunch now. It's lunchtime in Korea. And I'm very hungry, right? Talking for 1 hour makes me very hungry. So I'll go and eat my lunch. Yeah, good night. Okay, bye-bye.